Welcome back, guys, episode 5, and today is a good one. I love today's video because it's going to be installing a new consumer unit on the wall behind me. This is for one of my best mate's houses, so doing it free of charge, mate's discount 100%. He got all the materials, so it's just he needs my labour. He is an electrician, but he's on the maintenance side now, so I don't want him to do it. But yeah, we're going to get stuck in. I'll show you how I do my fuse boards. I got my bench set up with cameraman wants to pan to that, also known as customer. And let's get started then. Right, step 1 for starting a fuse board is preparation. Having a look at what you're going to be doing, what's the steps. You want to be 10 steps ahead constantly. So I've just had a look around now. So we've got the board. I think the best option for me is to put a bit of trunking at the top because I've got a big old armour to connect in, so I need some space to bend the cable, and it's freezing, so I'm not going to get a lot of bend on that. So I'm thinking a bit of 50mm trunking up here, mounting the board below, bring the cables into the trunking. Won't strip them in the trunking, but they'll just run through. Same with the armoured into the board. I'll cut out the top here. Grommet strip it, and when this is finished, we'll obviously put some fire foam in to still give the fire protection of the board. So that's my plan. One issue we have noticed being here is fuse box earth terminal only goes up to 16mm, and we've got a 25mm armoured running here. So we had a bit of thinking to do. I think the best option is basically when the cable comes in is lug it to the board, and then we'll have a 16mm coming off that into the earth terminal. Then we had a couple of options, but the others seemed a bit rough, and that's not me. So yeah, Kurt didn't want to drill it or anything, drill the main earth terminal. So yeah, that's the plan. So first thing, I think get this cut out on top and the trunk in, and kind of go from there. We've already got our cables into place of order, biggest to smallest. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, preparation is the most key to a board install if you want to get it neat. Obviously you can chuck it in and let it look like Spider-Man's web, but you don't want that. So preparation, preparation, preparation. Right, so the top is cut out, grommet strip all around. So that's the first bit done on the board. So now we'll do the trunking, we'll do the same with the trunking. But what you've got to make sure when you cut it out is that the trunking will actually be smaller than this. So the cables can never hit the metal on this, even if the grommet strip come off. So I'll show you how I do that now as well. And then we're almost ready to mount the board.
So yeah, I'm already planning on.
Do you want to cut that trunking for me? Or?
On top of my board.
Do you want to send it back, is it?
Yeah, please.
Do you want to file a complaint?
Yeah.
Do you want to cut that trunking for me? You give me the trunking? Did you? Not bad, mate. Nice. Good. So why would you cut things in maintenance and you do it with your teeth for?
Grindable.
Everything's great.
Everything's great. You don't use anything bad. I hate trunking so much.
Why do you hate trunking so much, Brad? It's not bad.
Trunking's trash.
No, trunking is good when used correctly. Well, that's probably how you hide half your stuff in maintenance anyway. Trunking on it. There's mummy calling you for dinner. Dinner's ready. Dinner's breakfast ready.
I don't know how to cook dinner like you want. You have to leave it.
I ain't even got to cook dinner today now because of you. Missing out on my cooked dinner now. Right, so the trunking is now cut smaller than what the board is. So when you place that on, it's going to hit the trunking before it's ever going to hit any of the metal on the board. So that's ready to be mounted, and this. My only concern is now I've got to try and bend that armoured and glanding into here and then run the fly lead off. Even though this side doesn't need to be, the armorers don't need to be earthed because they've done it the other side, I'd rather just do it as best practice, but it is going to be tricky, so we'll have to see how it goes and see if I can get a bend on up there. But yeah, let's crack on to the next step, which is getting it all mounted and glanding it off. Right, so guys, a good little tool for when you're drilling out holes in like plastic or metal, get a deburrer, a couple of quid on like Amazon, and you can just ream it out then. Give it a nice finish so it's smooth and no bits hanging off. So a little tip there. So then you can get your grommet. Get in there. Like that. Lovely. There we go, that's him. So that's in there now. We'll repeat that a couple more times going across. And that's ready to go. Right, so that's the finished product on the trunking. All the grommets are in now, the glands in. That's going to be the next tricky bit, so I think we'll tackle that and see how that goes. But I'm hoping I can gland it, and I'm hoping there's enough room. If not, worst comes to worst, we'll just have to put stuff and gland it and drop the armor in. But I'm hoping it doesn't come to that. But like I said earlier, it doesn't really matter because we got it out there. But let's get stuck in onto the armor now. Right, so we're doing the tricky bit now. I just have to have two of us push up the armour as far as we can. We'll clip it across there. But this is basically going to go there, roughly. So I'm hoping where we've marked it, it's going to be enough where I can get my shroud, my top hat and all on, and we can get it down nicely. So fingers crossed it goes alright. Right, Glanding McGland time. Glanding McGland.
Where the fuck did I put those strings?
Okay, so let's get the shroud cut first. So this Klein beast, a little bit dangerous, but does the job, you know. Oh, this is stiff as hell. There's ways you can warm these up, like rubbing them and getting a hairdryer or whatever on it, but nobody got time for that. Right. So I always do my shrouds, just put it over the end of the cable, twist it a little bit, and you kind of see the outline of the cable then. You go a little bit above. Be careful on my thumb. I don't chop it off. So stiff. What do you want? What are you staring at?
You struggling.
You watching me struggle? Okay, why didn't you have this on the radiator waiting for me, like?
I should have, yeah.
Yeah, it's not good enough, really, mate.
But, considering this how you look how you, because you're putting the fuse board in, you know?
Yeah, well, you should have magic something up, like. So, get that up out the way. We shall get the top hat up out the way. I'll tuck it in here, I do. Go on. Then, because this was an outside gland pack, because we used one outside. Oh shit. Right, I know some olives do go a certain way, but looking at this one, it's okay. To always be wary that I've had them before where they kind of like curve in a little bit, so they only go one way and try and get a gland on, and that actually doesn't work. CK Armoured Slice. Wicked bit of kit. Do you use these kit?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Only one like this.
I thought in maintenance you just chucked everything in a stuffing gland both ends.
Do what you have to do.
Okay, let's go. I hope this works because, to be honest, I haven't really got a plan B a minute. If we can't get this arm glanded with the space we got, but there's always a solution. Always. You kind of get a feel of these, how far you need to go after using it but a few times, and then you know when to stop. But I've not once ever gone through all the way through the armourings, so I won't panic too much about it. Just make sure they're scored enough that it breaks quite easy, because you don't want to bend your armourings because it just makes it 10 times harder then. There is ways around it, but if you can avoid it, avoid it. Get the Klein Beast back out. So stiff. There we go. My nose is like a tap today. Get that off. Right, before we go any further, make sure everything's on shroud. Top of that, because when you open all these up, it's going to be a nightmare then. Get that there. And I start breaking them. On the bigger stuff, I won't do any more than 3 at a time, just because it's easier to bend on the bigger ones. Perfect. Right, with the bigger armourings, you can't really do the twist to open all the armourings up, so I just grab a couple at a time and lift them off slightly. On the small armours, obviously it's quite easy just to do the cable. Bam, bam, bam. Right, probably worth me stripping this now actually, because I want to bring the earth over, because I've got to lug it. So yeah, we'll strip that. Again, probably worth taking our cables now. I did want to use heat shrink, but someone forgot to get it.
Just let it go.
Just let it go. Yeah. Right, so that's the gland on, and if I give that a pull, that's not going anywhere. That's good. I'm confident with the armourings on the gland as well. So that's in. Now the next bit is actually getting this trunking fixed to the gland fitting up in the void as well. So let's give that a go. I'll have to give Kurt a shout for that now. Get the shroud on as well. On. Right, Kurt, oh! I need your muscles. Ow. Sorry. Smash me with a bit of cable on. Right, we've actually done it. I'm actually surprised. I'm fairly easy. I went in, I'll play a bit of it anyway, but yeah, we've got it in. When we get a lid on now, I'll straighten all this trunking up, and when I get the board up, we'll get the rest of these cables across there, sit the board up, and drop all my cables in, and we'll get them stripped, and that's when the fun begins then. But yeah, I'm happy that how that's gone. Like I said at the start, we're going to have to lug this onto the board, so I'm going to have to try and come into the board, round the back, lug it, and then obviously I'll get 16mm coming off that then. Right, trunking's up, all the cables are in place. So when I was on about preparation, this is something that's very important. You want to dress your cables in, smallest to biggest, and get them in line, kind of where they're going. You don't want to just chuck them in willy-nilly and then you've got to drag single cables everywhere. So I've got like my cooker, my kitchen ring, and then the rest are radials and lights. Another quick tip, I seen it off Paul off E5, some Velcro strap. I chucked it around my ring main cables and then put a zip tie around it, so it stops when you zip tie cables, obviously it leaves marks on them, so it just protects them a little bit more. I think it was like £4 for a pack of 6. So that's good. So my next step now is to basically lift the board up on, mark my holes, get them drilled and in. And then when that's done, I think we'll start dressing them in. Right, boards up, trunking's on, cables are in. So we'll spread all these out now. I've lugged the earth, so that'll go up there onto our brass nut, which we've drilled in. So I'll go on there with our 16, which I have here. So that will go, kind of want it like that, so chuck a bend in it there. Something like that, so we're getting a nut on that now, and then that'll be our earth in, so that's that sorted. Bit of a pain, that is the one downside to a fuse box, but they are really good. I enjoy using them, but that's the only downside. But how often do you actually have a 25mm earth coming in? But yeah, now I'll start stripping these cables back, get them labelled up, and then we'll start putting the RCBOs in. But yeah, looking good so far. Right, so all I'm doing now is making sure all my neutrals are to the left of the cable. All the ones coming in, like that one's not, so that one's got to be flipped around, like so. And what this will do is, on the RCBOs, the cables come in, the neutrals are on the left hand side, the lives are on the right hand side. So when you come to dress it in, you're not going to be crossing over cables. It's just another thing to get neater. I've added these tags on, I don't know if I'm going to keep them on yet. I'll leave allowing up main earth and then whatever circuit that is. So we'll see how that goes. But other than that, I'll carry on doing that now. I'll get them all stripped where I want them to, all the same length, and then we can start getting RCBOs in. So that's my next tip. Right, I asked you guys to leave me some questions on Instagram the other day. So if you're not following my Instagram, go and follow it. But let's get stuck into the questions. I'd say my favourite tool at the minute is, I'm stuck between a couple. I'd say this is one, I just use these all the time. These are wicked for twin and earth, which I'm using now. I should get it right up in there. And we also, the ergo strip, that comes in so handy for like flex and whatever. So yeah, I'd say that's my favourite tool. The next question, if I wasn't a Sparky, I'd probably be a carpenter maybe. I'd definitely be in some sort of trade, I think, and I think the carpenter would be the next one for me. So you hit the nail on the head. That is exactly what, after that rap song, she's seen that and she wasn't happy. So she kidnapped them. I managed to escape in the Lazzetti and got over the bridge, and she can't get over the bridge. So yeah, I don't have a set plan. It's obviously I want to try and start on my own. So it's not possible. You can't just quit a job and like, right, I'm starting on my own. It takes time to build up your customers and whatever. So also I'm just gonna have to stay self-employed with a company for a while until I get some customers in, do work on weekends after work, and just work my ass off really for the next couple of years. And it should reach a time where, right, I can stop that now and just have constant work on myself. Hopefully it goes quicker than that, that's what I'm hoping. But we'll just have to see how it goes really. Right, as you can imagine, I've had about 20 Tom questions, so I may as well address them all in one. Tom's doing fine. He's uploaded an Instagram video explaining some stuff on there. If you want to go and watch it, and he can tell you for yourself. But I think he's bringing a video out Monday as well. Oh, well, you've probably already seen it by the time this video is out. So yeah, you can stop asking me, where's Tom? What's Tom doing? Not that it bothers me, but Tom will do stuff in his own time. I don't know everything what Tom's doing. Obviously, we've ended stuff on good terms. Like it's not. I didn't want to go, and he didn't want me to go either, so it's just how it worked out. But yeah, so let's leave that one there. Yes, I do, because my van at the minute is my Lazzetti, and it's, you know, nothing on the electric van, so yeah. But it'll come in time, I'll be able to get my own van racked out. It all all takes years to do. So, but yeah, to answer the question, yeah, I do miss the electric van. There's no particular jobs I hate doing as such. Anything that's very repetitive. It's like if you're doing a full week of exactly the same thing, then it can get very boring, whatever it is. So as long as I'm doing bits of everything, I don't really mind what I do. But my favourite stuff is like installing a new board, because this will be something I can look back now when it's finished and it'll look nice, and it's like, yeah, like good feeling. Yeah, so nothing I exactly hate as such. Let's start with the worst thing, get the worst thing out of the way. I'd say traffic, people are quite arrogant in London. Not all, I can't say all, but a lot of, is everything's rush, 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 rush. But there's a lot of good stuff as well. It's like you meet new people, you know, it's like the city of the UK, do you know what I mean? You see everything. So it's a good experience. I don't regret anything out there. But yeah, that kind of answers your question, I think. Right, so a little update. I've now got my sticky pads in at the back where each of my RCBO is going to go. So when I bring the cables down, I've got something to get them with. And now my top tip is now I'm working right to left, but I'm going to mark up each fly lead. So this will be, let me get my pen. Why is it when you put a pen down you can never ever find it again? What have I actually done with that? There, got it. So what I'll do is mark this one up as 1 now. Just put 1 on there. So when I come to connect all my fly leads in, I know that one obviously got to go into 1, and you'll see why it's a bit further in. So I'll clip that in. Right, so that's that in. So yeah, like I was saying, so that's in place now. Though that zip tie is pretty much in line with that. So when I come to do it, fold down bin, and then we'll go up and in like that today. That's how I plan on doing it anyway. To be fair, maybe I'll just get that in now. But what I do want to use is a bit of Velcro, like I showed earlier, just to protect those cables a little bit. Right, so I've got my MCB screwdriver. There we go. I'll torque these up after my other one. But that's the last thing that I'll be doing. There we go. Last one in. Looking nice. Very good, very nice. Hello, Nicki Minaj. Right. So on to the next one now, and it's the same principle all the way across. So we get the earth in, plop your RCBO in, dress your cables in exactly the same as these now, and we just keep moving forward. So I'll see you in a minute. Right, so I've got all my earths in, I've got all these dressed in now. It's just a matter of clipping in the breakers and getting them connected. So I'm poking my fly leads through the gap, so they'll all come out here, and that's when I'll connect all them then at the end. But we're getting in now, it's looking neat. I'll get some labels on these, get some ferrules, numbers on all of that, and that's pretty much it. I've obviously got to do the labeling of the board, but I might show you that in the next video, to be honest, because time's getting on now, and it's a Sunday, and I need to go food shopping before the shop shut. So I might pop you after work again tomorrow, just to wrap everything up, but we'll get these connected now and these in, so catch you in a minute. Right, so we're pretty much getting in now. All my fly leads are connected. Again, a little trick, zip tie around them all, then little zip ties in between. These are in, everything's in. I'm going to start numbering them now, and that's pretty much that, and that'll be the board done then. They give us a 32 instead of a 6. I've just chucked that in the dress roll in a minute, but I'll have to take that back out tomorrow when I come back, because like I said, I'm popping out now, so I'll pop back in after work. So I'll change that to a 6, and then that'll be it then. So I'll catch you in the next clip. Right, I don't know where I left you in the last clip, but it's another day now. We got the 6 amp RCBO to replace that one there. So obviously they sent the wrong one, so we got that, which we'll change out. Picked up some circuit schedules and some new labels, because the ones I bought off Amazon didn't actually fit the 6 or 2.5. cables. One thing I am noticing at the minute is I keep after buying bulk of things because I haven't got anything. So even like ferrules, I've just had to buy a whole tub just for one little job. Obviously I know I'm going to use it in other jobs, but it's a lot of kind of expenses going out that I don't really need, but I do need at the same time. So yeah, I'll get cracking, check the numbers on, but we're almost there now. Right, so I'm just doing the finishing touches now. So I got all the ferrules on, all the numbers, so that's making it nice and pretty. I've checked on a main earth label and an armorings label there, and just got to get the buzz bar in now, which I'll show you a little trick on. But I think that's pretty much it. We've got to label the front of the board, which I'll show you as well, and what labels I put on. But other than that, we're almost there. Right, I put a bus bar in. I know some people call it buzz, but it's actually called a bus bar. And I've showed you this before, but I'll show you again the mirror trick. So what I use is this to go under, so you can see how far the clamps out. So you should check them all out first, then get your bar in, like so. I'll do a one up either side first. Right, then I'll check it again with a mirror. And I'll just check the clamp is behind all the copper bar, because it is one of the main causes of fires, this is. So yeah, I'm happy with that, so I'll do all them up now with a, well, I'll do them all up with this first, then I'm going to go around the whole board with a torque screwdriver, make sure all the connections are right, and that's pretty much it. Right, so I got my torque screwdriver, and I got the fuse box leaflet where it shows all the torque settings on it. So you obviously just follow them and match your screwdriver to that, put it into your thing, you should your click, like so. And that's basically it. I'll go around the whole board doing that now, and then the last thing to show you is the cover. One thing I forgot to mention is the reason there's no bonding cables here is because we're going to be having plastic incoming, so obviously you don't need a bond, so if before keyboard warriors start typing with the bonding, it's not actually needed. Right, so I finished labeling the board. So on the front I just put my size of tail, so we got 25mm line, neutral and earth, but I've converted it down to 16mm by here, so I'm just going to make a note of that. We've got an 80 amp cut out fuse out there with our isolation switch. Then inside, so I got my next test label, RCD label, and my circuit schedule. That's still got to be a little bit filled out, and I've obviously got to sign this off, but I got to test this place as well and do the certificate, so that could be another video which I could bring you along on a full test. So if you do want to see that, leave your comments below. But now the board's done, which I'll take some photos and videos of now, and this is the end product. Right, this is the final bit now. I'm just doing the last touches. I'm going to get my tools back in the car / van, whatever you want to call it. I'm happy how it turned out. Let me know what you think in the comments. So what else was I going to say? My mind's gone blank. It's too late in the day, honestly. What was I going to say? Like, subscribe, all our stuff. I do appreciate the support that you guys have been giving me as well. I didn't expect to have this much support already. And I hope you enjoyed this video. It's probably a bit of a long-winded one, but maybe found some tips from it. Just when you do fuse boards, always remember preparation. Make sure you have everything ready before the board even goes up. Make sure everything's ordered, which in this case it wasn't. Well, it was ordered, but we got sent the wrong materials. Yeah, just preparation, and make sure you got everything and take your time. And this is what you get as a final result. So I'll catch you guys in the next video.